Good morning, fisher people. I'm Alan Noyes from FishOn TV, and it is day 2 of the Mystry bells on Elsecar Reservoir. In remembrance of Parko, Peter Parkinson. So yesterday I heard £22. I had to get off because I was going to my niece's birthday party. On the other bank, on the grass bank, £22 won the match. He's caught everything on the pole, soft pellet on the pole. But as you know, I'm here just to get in tune with catching skimmers, feeder fishing, going through the routine of the setup that I'd set up if I go to Tamar, just so I know it offhand and it's not going to take me forever to get everything in order. So feeder fishing it is, even though I do think if we fished pole for skimmers, you'd catch, I'm pretty sure you'd catch more, and I think pole will probably dominate it. Could be wrong, but it could dominate it. Usually does when we're catching these kind of fish. And the weather is on the change. I mean, it's not going to get above 13 degrees today. And it was only a couple of weeks ago, we're having 25, 28 degrees. So it's really dropped. Yesterday, I had a couple of hours or so, probably put £7 in the net. And then the latter half of the match, I had one bite and one fish. But I still managed £7.3. I really did think I was on target for 10 or 12 pound. It's a good job I had a bream, because otherwise it would have been a shocking weight. The guy next to me had £6.9, and there were 2 and 3 pounds to my left, and then I think they've caught on the pole to my right. I'm not sure, 8 and 9, 10 pounds I think to my right. But it's not a complete disaster. We need a good match today, and I don't think I mentioned it yesterday, but the Mystry bells, I think you get drawn out a partner. So basically you've still got to try and get as big a weight as possible, because you don't know who you're going to draw. It could be somebody with a low weight, it could be somebody with a high weight. So all you can do is put the best weight together you can, and see where we go. So what I will say is that I'm looking forward to being onto the bank. Never been on it. I'm not sure whether you need a platform and waders, I don't know, because I did see a few people getting in there. Just looking at the state of my heart, that's a sweat. Pinecky thumpers. So, but there is a chance that we could also end up on the same bank, because he said that because of the peg limitations on the other bank, so these are rotation today, but I think there's a chance that there could be 4 of us fishing the same bank. So, you know, we just have to take his chances there. I would like to have a go on the other bank and see what it's all about. Having said that, it is a bit more of a walk. Not into big walks nowadays. I do enough walking around Lindholm when I'm working there. But yeah, looking forward to it. Enjoyed yesterday. A bit frustrating that second half. I just couldn't weigh up why I wasn't catching. I'm going to cut back on particles today a little bit for the beginning of the match, see if that makes a difference. I might have... At this time of year, you'd think they'd be really wanting a good munch, because it's not like clap cold, but you'd think they'd be thinking, oh, let's get some snap downers. That's food for you people that are not from Yorkshire. So, but I am going to cut back a little bit on the particles. I'll probably go a little bit less. I put 4 feeder full short yesterday. I'm going to go a little bit less today. I'm going to do, I think I said I was going to do 2 yesterday, but I ended up doing 4, because only small feeders. But I'm going to do 2, and then start off with like 3-minute casts, because when I did get a bite, it was in the first sort of 3 minutes. So I'll have a few 3-minute casts, build the swim up steady, take it from there, but I am going to put 6 out longer. So I'll have a short line and a long line. 6 out longer and leave it an hour or so. And take it from there and see how we get on. So really looking forward to it. A good set of lads here, all daft as brushes, proper Barnsley Yorkshire lads. Get on with them well. So let's see where we get drawn and how we get on today. Get in.
tell him who's going to. Where's Luke? Yeah. Alan, Tompkins. All of those things are. Harrison,
Would it? He don't come on the skimmer fishing, but I'm not sure. I don't think he's doing that. If he is, he'll be doing it with Jackson and all his cows. Yeah, well, we've been off school and that.
was it?
Some great videos.
Alan Norrie. Go on, big on.
44. Already, peg 44. I'll let you have a quick look. It's end peg, but it's mega shallow. It's like, look at my keep net. You could just keep going out there, but you're not allowed to go past this. So, and there we go. Look, that's where I was over there. And then you've got up to here, and then we've got a Charlie again. He's in my section again. He's somewhere down there. I don't know all these guys' names, but they've all set pole up. Now I've chucked out a bomb and it's just full of rocks and zebra mussels, and I'm not fishing on that way feeder, because even winding in yesterday without a fish on, it cut my hook length off. And I can tell it's zebra mussels because it's too consistently, you just know. And I just said to the lads, I said, there's mussels here, and they went, oh yeah. So, the line, I've thrown my short rods away. I've just gone for two 35-metre lines. And the lines I've picked is one over here, at 31 metres, 30 metres, 31 metres, it's back onto the zebra mussels. So I've picked a line over here, and then I've picked a line on towards the dam wall where the overflow is, and that is another line. So they're both lovely and firm on the bottom. It's just after all the zebra mussels and everything, and I'm not kidding, there's loads. It's ridiculous how many there is. So there's loads in there. So they're the two lines, and I've got my three 11-foot rod set up. Matte parabolics with the pellet feeder. This one's going to be the short hook length, and this is me normal 50cm hook length. And all maps, that's the Matte Parabolics Black Edition, that's the map dual. They've all got Preston extremities, the new extremity now, 520. These are the old extremities. I've got to say, those extremities, they've been brilliant. I've had them a few years now, and they've been, apart from a bit of paint coming off, brilliant reels. So why not buy them? I think they're great value. So it's a Preston extremity 520 it is for this 35-metre line. I just love them. We've got braid on the traditional rig, and I've got mono on the pellet feeder rig. You can't miss the bites on the pellet feeder rig, so we don't need braid on that, so that's what I've gone for. Baits wise, it's the same as yesterday. Casters, live maggots, dead maggots, pinkies, a few micro pellets, chopped worm, bit of corn, some full corn there, and then my little wafters. These are the beauties, the little 3mm wowsers. They seem to be, from bream and skimmers, little skimmers and stuff, they seem to be spot on. All two or single reds. So we're off any sec now. There we go. I'll get baited up and we'll see you guys during the match. Testing, 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 testing. Right, we're about 50 minutes in. I ended up putting like 8 to the left. I'm going to put 2 on this short line. On the first cast, I had a skinner about this big. Actually a little bit bigger than that. And then I've had a small skinner, and I just pulled out of one. on the, I could feel it at the muscles. And then I've just had this, and I've just been experimenting with feeders on these casts. I don't know why that's done it. I felt it go on the muscle bed, and I think that's just tangled on my rig up. And it's hit the muscle bed. Because I thought that's gone funny, I thought I'd lost it, and it's come out. It's obviously, the lines obviously caught the muscle bed and wrapped everything around like this. Because we're obviously working right to get a bite. There you go, not to worry. What I have noticed is a slightly bigger feeder. I set off with this feeder with a few particles in, like pinkies and stuff, and I got an indication. So I thought, I don't want to overfeed it like I thought I'd done yesterday. So I changed to a smaller feeder. I had an indication and virtually no particles. And then I slopped it up with no particles and just slopped down there. I had nothing, so I've gone back to this. Put like pinkies, a few maggots, a few micros. And I've had indications straight away, so at the minute I feel like they're responding to a little bit more bait on. Tell you what, I'll put some bait on my hook. I feel like they're responding to bait, you know, a few particles in there, especially these pinkies. They put in quite a few pinkies in this time. I didn't put that many in yesterday. I put them in, but not that many. Just on double live maggot at the minute. So we'll see if we get a response again. Oh, I'm going to have to start chucking more right. That's drifted. Wind's strong. You can't feel it here, but that wind's definitely strong. All the others have been absolutely spot on. So I'm going to have to chuck. There's two sections on that overflow. I've been chucking at the left hand one. I'm going to have to chuck to the right hand one because that moves quite a bit. That. And I might not get a bite there. It's a couple of metres off where I've been casting. It's definitely just blew left. Set off perfect. And I've noticed when I put particles in, I had the odd liner. When I put no particles in, there's small fish around it. When I put no particles in, I had no liners or anything. Little taps. Not enough for a bite for me of that. It's only shallow here, and it can't be no more than 3-4 foot tops out there, it can't be. 4 foot I'm going for. There's literally no, it's just like just over a second. And where all the zebra mussels in, there's not even a second. It's just like, goes in, bump, straightens up straight away your tip. At least out there I've got a little bit of a hold when it comes back. And 1.5 seconds tops. Might be 5 foot maybe out there. 5 foot. It's certainly not 7 foot. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to leave this in too long because that's quite a bit off the mark now. I'm just getting little taps. I'm taking it that the little fish that's around the pinkies. Oh, come on, don't get out of the way. You're going to get caught in the line. What's wrong with you all? Stupid ducks. Yeah, I'm not feeling confident with this cast because it's just gone miles off the market. I'm not leaving that in. I can field zebra mussels there. Oh, there's a fish on. Actually a fish on. I didn't even have an indication. So, I might actually go to my really short up length, my 6-inch up length. I thought that wasn't zebra mussels, it's a fish. Top result, no bite, fish on. Perfect as well. That's 4 skimmers. One up to itself as well, thank you. Yeah, if I'm getting those indications again, I'll go to the really short hook length. These maggots, I'm sure they've shrunk since yesterday. Little tip for you as well. For some reason, it don't seem to work with these. But I did notice yesterday that they were the chunky maggots. But when you get your maggots, and they last longer as well, live maggots. Take all the air out of your bag and put them in the fridge, rather than putting them in the fridge alive. And they stay plumper for longer. That's right. They'll come back to life. You can leave them in the bag for a week and they'll still come back to life. Unbelievable. They're hard as old. And that I hardly moved, but only a little bit, so we're not far off them. It's hard to judge. I can see it on the water, but I can't feel how strong it is to know how far I want it to go. That hardly moved at all. And these guys are catching little roach and stuff outside of me. Charlie says people are catching bream, but he's obviously lying. Always lies, Charlie. So there we go, people. We'll keep testing this feeders and feed, see which I think's us. I think that's quite a big line of that. It wasn't enough for a bite. It just, if I'd have been on really deep water, I would have struck at that. But it'd have been shallow bites and pretty far. I'm pretty sure that were a line from a better fish as well. See if that develops anyway, if it develops into a fish. Testing. Right, I did make that change and I went onto the pellet feeder to the left, on my left hand swim, and my phone and my camera decided to play up. It's taken me about 20 minutes to get it working again, but I had 3 skimmers. I've had 3 lovely bites on it. I've had 3 skimmers on it. I've gone back out there and now I forgot to put timer on trying to get this bloody camera ready. It's been out there a couple of minutes or so. Been 3 lovely positive bites. I thought they were going to be bigger fish, but there were skimmers about this big. As big as they're slightly bigger than the biggest one you've seen. So I'm on 9 skimmers now and a roach. The guy outside me has just had a skimmer bigger than the ones I'm catching on the pole just here. So yeah, quite happy with that. Just disappointed I couldn't get it on camera for you because it just packed in. It wouldn't turn off. And then I put another battery in, redone it all, tried to reset it all, and it still wouldn't turn off. So I've had to change the SIM card. I think the SIM card I've been using is not very good. There's I've had issues with it, so after this lot I'll be slinging that. It's definitely something to do with the SIM card, even though I've done a full format on them before I've come away. It's definitely been playing up. I have got one SIM card and it's that one that's been playing up for a while. So hopefully we'll get the rest of the matching, and hopefully I might get a couple of fish on this pellet feeder. It's the pellet feeder on the left hand side that I've got them on. There we go, that's just gone. They're just lovely. They're not like smashing rod round, they're just lovely positive bites that you know that they're on. I don't know whether you could see it or not, but it's here anyway. They're the ones I've been catching. So that's 4 in 4 chucks. And what I'm going to do now I've seen that that's happening, the feed, the micros, the little bit of worm and ground bait, I'm going to refeed my other line with the same bait and then set that up for this as well. Give that another one. And hopefully try and get a few more on this other line, and when it goes funny I've got this one to go at as well. Let that one just settle on the bottom. I'm not overdoing it with feed. I've not been on it for 20 minutes, so it's not a lot of bait that. I started to get some better fish on the pole. So that's 10 skimmers, but they're not as big as yesterday, and I've not got a bream. And we're on 1:15, fishing well for, let's hope. Just check that waft. You've got to check these little wafters because they soon absorb the water and they lay flat, and that's no good. I know I get a lot of people criticising, oh, never mind testing your wafters. Well, you're idiots if you don't. Because if it's laid flat, it's not doing its job. So always test, especially these little ones. It definitely looks more tempting to a fish. I'm not a fish, but I like to think that when it's sat up wafting about, it definitely looks more tempting to a fish than laid flat. And plus with it sitting above your hook, it's almost hiding the hook as well. Lovely. And the bites are not coming straight away. They're probably like 3 or 4 minutes in, and then I'll get a bite. And like I say, the bites, you can't miss them. It's just one, and it just stays there, and you know it's on. None of this rattling about and stuff, it's just... It doesn't whistle like that, of course, but you get my drift. So I put all my phone stuff away, let me camera stuff away. Now we're up and running. Let's hope we get a few more people. Get in. Well, this is me 16th skim, and it's been really good as the pellet feeder. So it's every 3 or 4 minutes it just goes around, lovely little pull. It's about the biggest one I've had. That is the biggest one. But yeah, that decision to do 8 feederfuls and leave it for a while has definitely paid off. That's the biggest one, so they're not massive, so I've not got a lot of weight. That's number 16. Let's just hope the see the 15 or so. I don't know whether I've clicked one too many or not. Can't remember. But we're round about that anyway. That's gone in funny. And if you don't get these spikes in, I have to do it on the other end. If you don't get them in the middle, it doesn't sit right because they're such little wafters, and you can't shove the spike all the way in. And that's sat perfect, so nice one. Because the spike, and even though it's a really thin one, because they're only such little wafters, it will make it lay flat, which is not what I'm after. I want it to lay above the bend of the hook. And I think the reason it's taking 3 or 4 minutes a bite as opposed to a method feeder, and I'm wanting to use this pellet feeder because this is what I'll be using down at Tamar, is because it probably takes a bit longer for it to come out of, and I've not tested it actually, out of the pellet feeder. So there you go, everything's hidden, and the pellets shove it out and it just pops out. See if we get it on the money again. Laddie thing drifted. I've not had one drift left on that dead. That's really annoying. I won't give it too long because that is probably 2 metres. It's blown 2 metres left. I didn't think wind would go up anymore. I can't hear trees blowing anymore. We'll give it 2 minutes, and if there's no, well actually 3, because it takes at least 3 minutes I think for it to come out properly. We'll give it 3 minutes, and if that's not gone after 3 minutes, so as you can see there, 6 minutes from casting it out to getting a bite to landing the fish and recasting. So it's every sort of 3 or 4 minutes I'm getting a bite. But we'll that just as it would die, I probably didn't quite cast it hard enough. Just as it would die to death, it blew left. It just looked like something had just shoved it last little bit, like when you're playing golf and you think it's going to get there, gust gets up and it just seems to suspend and drop short at green. That type of thing. But it's just great to see these bites. It's just I hope you can see it, but it's literally, it's a post in way and this is in way, but it's just little thing like, and then like a little shake, not rattle, just a little, and then it's like that. So I think it's already on then because it's shaking its head, tries to swim away, and then it goes and it's on. They just hook themselves, and it's just lovely. It's nice and smooth straight round. So I've put 2 feederfuls out there as you saw, and if I keep catching on here I'll probably put another one out there just to top it up, I want to put loads of bait in because yesterday I felt like there were too many particles in. I've really kept it. I know they like pellets here, so I've kept it mainly to a little bit of chopped worm, pellets, micro pellets and ground bait. And when I've been fishing maggot, I've added the odd few pinkies and odd maggot. And I've hardly fed any maggots out there. It's been mainly just a few, because I know they do like them, but it's been mainly a little bit of chopped worm in the mix, ground bait and pellets, and that is pretty much what I'm fishing out. Oh, there's a little bit of corn, this chopped up corn. There's a little bit of chopped up corn. There we go. Oh, how's that not on? How is that not on? That just went round lovely. I reckon that, because I saw the telltale shake and then it just started moving forward. I reckon that's shook itself off. It's the first one I've missed. It definitely looked on. I don't lift straight away, I like confirmation with the, you get a little slow shake and then it goes forward and then you know it's on. That's pretty much what that did. I can't believe that's not on, and that bite actually come quite quick. I thought that was definitely gonna be on, but hey, what do I know? Very rare you miss bites on these. Only them that semi-skimmed like me miss them. Damn it. Goddamn skimmers. And I've aimed that a yard right to allow for that little bit of blowing across, because you can see where it's blowing there. It stayed perfectly straight. Oh, for God's sake. I've had probably 80% of casts pretty much right down its throat every time, but these last two casts, obviously with camera being on, one blew, I've allowed for a bit of wind and it stayed perfectly bloody straight. God's sake. So basically I've had one land to the left of me platform and I've had one land to the right of me keep net. So it's not a mile away from each other, but I like it to be pretty much in the same spot. Because we're only leaving little parcels of bait when we empty that pellet feeder, when we retrieve it. So it's nice to go back over it. Yes, that's why we pick markers on like a far bank. So it's not miles away, like I still had a bite when it blew left. But when it set off I thought that's going to blow around in a minute and it just stays straight. God, that thing. Maybe I did notice the cast was ever so slightly lower, which is what we do when it's windy. Because the higher it goes, the bigger bow you get in your line. And it pulls it round, especially when it hits the clip. But there we go. So we're steady away, people, steady away. It started raining. I was just about to pull this in, it didn't half smash round, it was a proper bite. I'm hoping it's a slightly better skimmer. Oh, it is. Yes. Now they'll do. They're the ones I could do with. I thought it were actually going to be bigger, but they're nice, them. It'd be nice if we were getting plenty of those. Right, I was going to feed that line I've just been on, and go on where I've put 2 feeder fulls. But no, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put another feeder full on this line straight in front and carry on fishing there, because that's quite a decent sign. Better fish moving in. Nice. Right on the money. I don't feel comfortable with all this gear on. I feel restricted with me casting. It feels weird. I feel all clogged up. That's that done. Got my bag ready to put over the camera, and well, it's not just so much the camera, it's the receiver for the microphones and stuff. But that, I thought that was going to be a bream way that went round. It were a proper bite. I was literally 15 seconds away from taking it out, and it just went doing straight round. It was like, go on, mighty, get yourself in, lad. Get me dragged in. Only thing I'm worried about is we're going left here. There's a great big weed bed to my left, and my line's probably about a metre away from it. So I'm just a little bit worried if I get anything decent, it'll probably guide itself into that lot. So I've got strong enough line on to give it some. I think I've mentioned it before, I don't faff about with light lines on a method or pellet feeders or hybrid feeders. It's 0.17 this, which is quite strong. I don't see point, because well, obviously you can see that they're not shy of it. I just think the way that the method works and the pellet feeds and the hybrids, I really don't think there's any need for light lines. I think you're risking getting snapped off on the bite. Again, last 3 or 4 casts have not moved. As soon as it clip, it keep right. But I'm not too worried, because I do actually think there's fish there anyway. It went right down its throat, and just as it clipped, it's kicked about a yard or two, a yard and a half, I'd say, tops. Yes, that was lovely. That it just like a carp bite almost. So 17 or 18 skimmers. I might have missed one, I might have put one too many, I'm not sure, but we've definitely got 17 because I didn't put the last one on. I've got 17 on my clicker, it could be 18. And we've got, it's 2:15. So as you can see, I've built quite a few skimmers up in the last hour or so. Probably had a dozen. I could have done with that yesterday. But this method just didn't work. I only had one fish doing this yesterday. It's crackers. I know why that's kicked left, because when I cast it, the previous one, when it stayed straight, was that little bit low, and I cast it, I thought, oh, that's a bit high, that. And it was. And that's why it's moved like it has, so it's all, you just got to judge it perfect. But you never know, we might get a bite from there. I'm going to cover you up because you're getting wet. And just get that dust off there. Right, we'll see you, hopefully, when I'm into a few breams. Right, it's still persisting it down. I've just got another one on the pellet feeder. It's the second one from the line smack in front of me. I put 2 feeder fulls to my left because that's gone funny. And I thought this was going to be bigger, wait, tip went round. So I'm up to, so look at that, and tipped in our fly round. I'm up to 19 skimmers. No idea how I'm doing in section. No idea at all. But it's we've got an hour and 4 minutes left. It's about 15 minutes since I put 2 feederfuls on that line over there to my left. So we can go back and have a look on that. Right, even though I don't know why that cut off. There was like 80% battery, it just cut off saying low battery, so God knows what that's all about. So I've just gone back out there. Been out 2 minutes. Seems to be taking 4 or 5 minutes before I get an indication, but at least I'm getting indications out there. 15-20 minutes since I baited that, refed that one out there to my left. It's definitely not as good out here as what it was when I first went over to my left, so I'm hoping they'll turn back up out there on the left. And it's 3 o'clock now, so we've got an hour left. I could do with another nice little runner skimmers and a couple of better ones, and even better still, a bream. I've no idea what weight them skimmers will weigh. £5, I don't know. I don't know. They're not 8 ounce a piece, that's for sure. So I don't know, 5, God knows, £6 maybe. I don't know, maybe 7, I don't know. Certainly not 10, that is for sure. 3 pounds say that. I've had one about 10 ounce. I have had a couple round about 8 ounce. Ooh, I don't know. We'll say 6 or 7 pounds, something like that. So not brilliant, but let's hope this last hour is better than yesterday's last hour and I can finish with a nice little flurry. So I'm covering it up because it's still persisting it down. Oh, has it just come off? I had one on, there's a snag on the way in, I'm not sure whether it's come off or not. But there's about 15 minutes to go and I've been alternating the lines. No, it's not come off. Either that or it's part of the snag. Oh, it's still on. This is 24 skimmers. I've lost one, bumped off just as it will come into the net. They've not really been catching much on pole to me right. Well, the 2 guys I can see anyway. So I've kept alternating. I've had a few straight in front, and the best line which I've fed the most, unbelievably, has been the better line. So I've kept one sort of like negative, one quite positive, and even though I've had fish off both, the one that I've been positive on, when I say positive, I've not filled it in, but I've just been a little bit more positive with the feed. That has been the best. So what we're on 47, so with 13 minutes to go. And I feel like I've done all right really, and this pellet feeder, it's given me a lot of confidence in it, which is what I've been after. Just sort of loading it and seeing what I've got to do, how much pressure I have to put on to make sure nothing comes out when you cast it. Hopefully I'll get a couple more practice sessions in just to get all my rigs and everything set up and my platform, and just so I feel like I'm ready. And then we've got a couple of days practice down at Tamar. Let me just get this in. Not that way, oh, not that way, this way. Get the line sunk before it goes into the weed. There we go, lovely. But the thing that I just love the most about this is them small skimmers. 30-gram feeder, and the bites are just delightful. You really can't miss them. Well, having said that, I did miss one, didn't I? But I've missed one bite on this. Whereas on traditional, I've probably missed a couple, probably not waited quite long enough, but it's been good. It's been good practice. I feel very confident in catching, that's 24 skimmers, in catching them on this particular method now, and traditional, of course. So yeah, really enjoyed it. So what we'll do now, we'll call it a day. We'll see you guys at the weigh-in and at the presentation. There we go. I think this is a bigger fish, I think. Let's have a look. Sure it is. Oh, it is. It's a bream. Last fish of the day, it's a bream. Get in. What a bonus. Last minute. That'll do, people. A bream, last fish of the day. Get in. That's a nice finish. The shouted time. I've shouted fish on. I don't know what it'll be. 2.5? 2? Something like that. Bonus. Gets in. So that's 25 skimmers and a bream. That's just helped. So there might be £10 in there now. Get in.
I'm not going to apologise for anybody, but I just want to say, on behalf of Elsecar, I'm sorry that there's been a bit of a cock-up, but these two gents have done a great job sorting money and weights out. So if you just show your appreciation for them too.
Absent friends.
I'm thick as fuck.
Well, you're not that good.
No. Right, we're going to do day one first in your super pool. And first, with £22.14, with Das Taylor picking up £60. Second, Seth Parko with £13.9, picking up £40. And third, Paul Lancaster with £12.12, picking up £25.
Never.
Don't forget after that was to Luke. And section 6 with £12.13, Alan Norris. Right, now we come to overall pairs, Mystry pairs. Right, and in third place, picking up £100 with a weight of £44.14, is Paul Hunt and Lee Harrison.
Well done, Neil. Thank you. Cheers, Neil.
Parko will be telling you it's real.
I'm just going to take a couple of photos out back so I don't rush off, lads, alright, just for something to put on page. Second overall, picking up £160, is Das Taylor and Ian Hodgson. And first overall in your Mystry Pairs Parko Cup, with a weight of £54.6. £54.6. Well done to these two, they've had a great 2 days. Paul Slack and Trev Parkin.
Well, there we go, all weighed in, presentation done, and what a cracking 2 days that was. Great set of lads, I've got to say. A lot of them Barsley lads and what have you, it's just brilliant. So I'm sure I've had 1 or 2 comments about it. I'm starting to translate Yorkshire, proper Yorkshire lads down here. Oh, my keys there. So yeah, today, it's crackers how it works, isn't it? Yesterday everything came in the first couple of hours, and today, even though I had a couple of fish early, 5 skimmers in the first hour and a half, 2 hours, and then when I've gone on decided to use the pellet feeder, which I kept mentioning I'm going to have to try it because I really did prep that. I put 8 feederfuls down there, a little bit chopped worm, ground bait and micros. And then once I've gone on the pellet feed, I had a lovely run. I must have had a dozen fish, and then I've had to keep changing lines, and I've picked a couple off just in front of me, back, picked a couple more off, and then right at the end, literally, I had an indication. I thought, oh, I've just missed one there, but there were 2 minutes left. I'm leaving it, and then it's gone, and it were a proper fish, biggest fish at day, probably 2.5 pound bream. And it's given me an overall weight today of £12 13 ounces, which I'm highly delighted with. That's outdone the pole guys, so I can't complain at that. I don't know that venue very well, but I've been talking to Charlie afterwards that what they used to do is chuck it about 50 metres and catch bream, but it's slightly different fishery now to what it used to be. But more than happy with that. More than happy. And I can't remember the name of my partner, Mark something or other, which I didn't know. We only get to know at the end. So 2 things happened there. I have actually won my section, so I got £40 for that, and we've come 4th, which they didn't realise. They'd miscalculated how much money there was, and then they said we've got a 4th prize. So I've not got it on camera. We've actually come 4th by 2 ounces, £37 and 2 ounces, £54 winning the competition. None of us knew as partners, and it just happened to be Paul Slack and Trev Parkin weighing in £54 and 6 ounces. Me and my partner had £37 something out and 2 ounces. So we've come 4th, and well done. I'll read them all out for you. I'm sure you'll have heard it on the presentation. So Paul Slack and Trev Parkin are this year's champions. Des Taylor and Ian H was second with £49 3 ounces, and Paul Hunt and Lee Harrison with £44 14 ounces. So we weren't a million miles off. It's a shame I didn't have a better second half on the first day, but I'm sure everybody can say that about their fishing that day. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've got to grips with that pellet feeder. I knew exactly what I wanted to do anyway. I've fished it before. I used to catch a lot of fish on that before. It's something I probably neglected for carp and in the winter and stuff like that. It's such a good little way of catching fish at times, that, and there is times for it, and certainly today that worked an absolute treat here today. The little 3mm wafter, you just cannot miss them bites. I keep saying that, but I missed one, didn't I? But most of the time, it just goes and they're on. That's it, end of. It's brilliant. So loads of confidence in that. I've been told it might not work down at Tamar this late on in September, but if it does, I'm more than happy if I draw some skimmer pegs, I'll tell you. So it's been brilliant. It's been a great weekend. So Trev Parkin, Ian, I've forgotten your surname, Luke Armitage for organising everything. It's been, I've thoroughly enjoyed the 2 days, and I hope you people have enjoyed the fishing as well. I know you learned a little bit, because it certainly taught me a few things about this little pellet feeder. It can be very good. It's certainly outdone the pole guys today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So there we go. That's it from me. I've got a couple more practice sessions. I'm going to have a practice session at Dam Flask, then we're fishing a competition at Dam Flask, well, then it's the Feeder Masters the week after. Going down Wednesday, fishing Thursday, Friday practices. It's an official practice match on the Friday, and then the final Saturday, Sunday. So I'm beginning to feel quite prepared for it. Just hope this practice pays dividends. Lots more hooks to get ready. Double check, make sure I've got all feeders and as you do, just to get everything ready. And I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll see you people at Dam Flask next weekend. It'll be next Sunday. So there we go. Take care, people. And don't forget, it is absolutely free to subscribe to this channel. And if you click that notification bell, you get all our videos as we upload them. And a thumbs up would be very, very nice. Take care, and we'll see you at Dam Flask on Sunday of next week. Toodaloo. And don't forget to fish on.